This is To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning. The holidays are upon us, and with them, of course, the upcoming break from school. A good time for a mid-year report card, so to speak. My guest, the Superintendent of St. Lucie County Public Schools, Wayne Gent. Mr. Superintendent, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Months go by quickly. We said before the start of school we'd get back with you. You're also really the Dean of Local Superintendents, having served as the Palm Beach County's school superintendent as well before your current posting. What is the report card for St. Lucie Schools? Some 40,000 students K through 12. Where are you? Give us the overview.
Well, we just met with my principals yesterday, and we're at the mid-year point. It's kind of like a halftime of a football game. And when we came back in July, when I brought my principals back and we had our first meeting, I was playing the Beatles song, "Here Comes the Sun," and the smiles are slowly, everybody's smiling and everything was looking good. And then a few weeks later, it's bad moon rising. Yeah. Bad things are coming. And so we've had to navigate through that, but where we are right now.
COVID.
Yeah, with the COVID. And where we are right now really is trying to accelerate learning for the students from the learning loss that they've experienced. So we're kind of we're in a groove right now. We're kind of back to where we were before, where we're focusing on teaching and learning, bringing in additional support in the school centers themselves to help support the students, particularly those that are lagging behind, as well as supporting the instruction that's going on.
Let's talk about that. Of course, last year, we're talking 2020 into 21, at-home learning. This year, everybody, by and large, back to school. Who's lagging behind? What are the things you see? What are the markers you see? Where are they lagging? Is it more in the hard sciences, the maths, the sciences, or overall?
Well, the math numbers across the state really went south. And so math is probably the biggest challenge that we face. I know in St. Lucie County and probably the surrounding counties, our math scores were low, and it paralleled what was going on in the state. So that's been one of the bigger challenges. But if students had struggled even before the pandemic, whether it was in English or English language arts or mathematics or science or whatever that subject would be, you could anticipate with a different instructional delivery method with the online and not really having that teacher in front of them, they were going to suffer from that. And then coming back with the quarantines and those things, it was just another added challenge to them. And so, we face, quite a task to try to bring them back and accelerate their learning so that we can catch them up.
Are they caught up? And I know that depends on any particular student, but first as you look holistically at the big view, are they caught up really?
No, it could take, some students will, we're all different, we're all unique. Everybody has a different learning style. So some students are going quicker than other students. You have, ESE, exceptional education students as well. That you have to be concerned about and meeting their needs. So you're trying to meet the needs of everyone. To say that we're caught up would not be true at all. I think some students are, but it's still going to be a haul.
Long-term ramifications of that and the kind of resources available to you, and do you have enough of such resources to do the catch-up? What do those resources look like? What's the long term? Yeah,
we, thanks really to the federal government and the dollars that are coming down, the Recovery Act dollars, we're using the majority of those in our school centers to hire additional staff. Right now we've hired additional what's called an interventionist. It's an academic person that goes into each school has one of those. They'll go in and work with students in small groups, especially the students that need the most help and support. We had a very extensive summer school program. We'll have it for the next 2 to 3 years, where it's, students that are struggling at all grade levels will have access to come in. It just really quadrupled in number before you just worried about the third grade students and getting them across, giving them what they needed to move on. So now it's for all of the students, and then the supports that's in the school centers. We've, particularly at K2, we've put a lot of resources in kindergarten and second grade, because that's crucial, the foundation grades, that those students don't fall behind. So we've put additional support in those areas.
And let me quickly say, I said that you wear a hat in many ways. I say you're the dean. You really are, given your experience in Palm Beach County, now St. Lucie. I could be having very much a similar conversation with virtually any superintendent in Florida or the nation. The challenges, students who are behind, the resources needed to pull ahead. You're talking for St. Lucie County, but in many ways, this is what you and your superintendents are seeing region-wide, statewide, and nationwide.
Absolutely, yeah. The challenges that we face right here in the viewing area, your viewing area, and the 4 or 5 school districts here, it's a national issue. I think we're much further ahead than the districts up north, because we had our students, back in school. We had a program, last year, the online learning, even though that wasn't perfect, It met some kids' needs, the majority of students it didn't, but at least we had them and we were able to continue some sort of instructional delivery method. But so I think we're further ahead than other areas in Florida and in this area as well.
I know it's a harsh question and it's not binary, yes, no, but listening to you, it does beg the question, is online learning just not up to the task of teaching students?
I think it is. I think it's in the wheelhouse of certain students, and they thrive in that area. And certain
What
teachers.
kind of student is that? Already the self-starter who might?
Yeah, that's into that. They're the techies. It could be how they were raised when they were younger. The more students. I have a grandson 5 years old that can do the phone better than I can and play the games better than I can. So it has the niche there, but I don't think there's really a substitute for the majority of students to have that teacher in front of them in the classroom, similar to what we're doing right now. So you can actually see them, you can observe them, you can see what they're looking like, what are they wearing, what's going on, are they happy, are there issues? Yeah. And I think because that all weighs into the total kid, the total child. And so for most students, I think it's safe to say that they prefer that teacher up in front of them and need that.
I often say to friends, of course, long past those ages, but I think that had been a challenge. I look at myself and say, would I have thrived in that? I think it's a tough deal. And I think most of us could acknowledge it might have been if we put ourselves in the shoes of those students. Let's talk about other aspects of it. Behaviorally, a Wall Street Journal report yesterday said a lot of districts are seeing students acting out because they were away from their friends. Now they're back. Are you seeing behavioral issues, discipline issues? This was a national report that came out late last week.
Yeah, we've seen some of that in some of our schools where some of the students have had a more difficult time adjusting back, being in the classroom, or they may be coming in for the first time because they were out for at least 2 years. Some were out for 2 years. And so adjusting to the norms, adjusting to the climate, adjusting to what the expectations are in those school centers. We put additional resources in, not in every school, but in some schools we put additional resources in to really work with the students in that area. We're not going to cure that, but we really want to do some behavior modification and to help those children along to be successful.
You will note at home that we talked about COVID briefly at the front. Too often the conversation's COVID loaded at the front. Yeah. Then, oh, by the way, academics. I know it's all tied together because COVID was the impetus for so much that you had to do. What about COVID? You all followed the governor's mandate early on, said masks would be optional. Vaccines, of course, cannot be mandated. But give me a sense, how many parents are still sending their children there? Putting masks on voluntarily? How many would you estimate, if you know, are being vaccinated? We tend to focus on those who aren't. What do you see?
It's like I was mentioning earlier, it's something I really don't, because I was in the schools the last 2 weeks. I've really been in several schools and then talking to students and teachers. And it's something that I don't even really focus in on. But I see several students, I see several teachers that still do that. And then you have a group of students and adults that don't do that. It's really their decision to do. It's really not at the forefront anymore. We're still monitoring the data. We haven't had this week. We've had 3 positive cases.
Nothing like last year.
Oh no. It's most days it's either 1 or 0, and so there's no comparison to where we were. Even in the peak time was in the fall. Was September and October.
What do you deal with in terms of Omicron, of course, has got us all a bit on edge. Are you prepared to deal with that? And what are the things still in place? You're not letting your guard down. Talk about that.
No, you still have to have we stress the social distancing. We stress the hand washing. We stress don't come to school if you're sick. If you've got any kind of symptoms, any influenza-like symptoms, do not come to school.
Extra cleaning of the schools?
Yeah, we still do all of that. We have not taken anything for granted, and we'll continue to do that, and we'll just monitor what's going on with the new variant, and hopefully, it doesn't appear at this time to be as severe, the symptoms as others. It's still early in it, but we're ready for anything.
How encouraged are you at the end that at least at this point you've got the young men and women, the kids as well, and teens back in school? What am I missing? What's the top accomplishment and what's your top challenge as you move on? Put a bow on this for us.
We mentioned the student discipline. Our referrals are really actually down than they were the last couple of years, but some of the behaviors may be some kids getting in each other's faces, those kinds of things. Our graduation rate will be released next month, and in our 6 comprehensive high schools, we're going to be at between 98 and 99%. So, in spite of these challenges that the pandemic has brought us, we're still able to get our kids through and to graduate them with the same the same criteria that's true for any county in the state of Florida is true for us here. So those are the positive signs. And then going into the new year, our teachers are ready for this break. I'm ready for the break. We were ready for the Thanksgiving break as well, because it's been very taxing on them. And then we bring them back in and work with them. And like you say, it's a halftime, and then we come back ready to make the first drive. Still
with that focus on going not just this year, but as we move on for the students who are going to need to catch up, and not just this year.
Right. That'll be ongoing. That'll be ongoing. We'll have the extra support in the spring. We'll have summer school again. Yes.
One final question to you. You talked about teachers. We owe such a salute to teachers, to support staff, to all of the people, to those who work to make sure the kids are fed, to every single person who touches that school environment. Governor, in our next segment, we'll talk about a push for more teacher pay. Where's teacher pay? Where are you all contractually? I think you said you're just wrapped up. What are we looking at?
Yeah, we just finished our negotiations with all of our bargaining groups, so we're done with that. And then the governor's budget did come out yesterday, and he's still putting the emphasis on trying to get everyone up to the 47,500 mark.
Where are you in St. Lucie?
We're a little bit below that, and so because we have when the larger the district is, the more difficult it is really to get to that number. So that's encouraging. It's early. That's the governor's budget. You still have to watch the state legislature, because they're the ones that will make the final call. But it's encouraging that in the past there has been that emphasis on instructional salaries. We wish that was put on all staff members' salaries, as you mentioned, from the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers, to support staff, because they deserve that as well. So we're looking forward to the session, and that there is that emphasis on education, and there is that emphasis on instructors and teachers. But we want that, we'd like to spread that out to everyone. And we were able to do that with our school board. We were able to match what the governor did with the $1,000 bonus. We were able to do that for all of our employees, and in particularly our support staff, put additional dollars in them to keep them, because that's been an area, that's been a challenge.
St. Lucie County School Superintendent Wayne Gent, we appreciate the midterm report card. Know a lot of challenges ahead, but a lot of successes as well.
Absolutely, and we're very fortunate and looking forward to the second half of the year, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Merry Christmas and happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas to you and everyone.
To you, family, and to the entire staff and all teachers, everybody, as I said, who touches the St. Lucie County school system. Up next, big spending promise for education and much more. We'll take a look at that. The proposed 2022 budget from the governor in our roundtable with Brian Crowley.